Hey now.
Hey now, how are we doing? Happy
Doing
Sunday
great.
night.
Is that a different angle of the trop?
It's I'm throwing all different angles at you every week. You don't know which one you're gonna get. The trop, it's like, depending on what side of the street you're on, just looks beautiful in all so many different ways.
It would actually be very funny if every time we do this, you just Google image the trop and then just like rotate Google.
Absolutely. I
It's a
mean,
really
the
go ahead.
big question that I want to ask is, this has been a crazy weekend. So would you say the biggest thing from the weekend, was it the Masters? Was it a crazy UFC 300 with maybe the craziest walk-off knockout we've ever seen in MMA history? Or is it Renee Pinto hitting 2 home runs today? That's the question I got.
You came in so hot with that question. I knew you had something set up for it. I didn't see that coming.
Didn't see Renee Pinto.
I do want to ask you, I don't want to spend too much time not talking about baseball or the Rays.
Sure.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I know the hype for that UFC fight was as high as it's been in a long time. Did it deliver? Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being yes.
I would say 9 out of 10.
Wow.
The only slight boner killer, which if you listen to the stream, I mentioned it was going to be a boner killer that I did with Jake and the crew Saturday, was the co-main event.
The co-main event was a boner killer, as in that was a letdown.
Well, it was just, it just wasn't you knew going in it wasn't going to be an exciting fight. So basically the way the card was set up was you had Max versus Gaethje, which was, 2 of the most exciting fighters in the UFC going at it, and the fight delivered. And then right after that, which ended in the craziest manner you can imagine. And then right after that, you had a women's title fight with 2 Chinese ladies that went 5 rounds. And it just wasn't very exciting.
I was going to say, what's wrong with that? That sounds like a good fight.
It wasn't a very good fight, and it just kind of took all the air out the arena. And then the main event was good. It was very, very short, which again during the stream we mentioned we thought it was going to be short. So yeah, a lot of good little nuggets out of that for anybody who tuned in.
Yeah, thanks for running the stream, Drew. If you have more time, we'd love to have you on. Your thoughts and insights are invaluable. But it's so Sunday night. The Rays are finishing up the series, or done with the series with the Giants.
It's over, baby. Ain't finishing up. It's over. It's over. So, we sent them packing.
Came back from the West Coast. Had Thursday night off. We had Friday in the Trop. The place was buzzing with Tyler Alexander, whoever ended up taking.
Oh no, actually, it was not Tyler Alexander. It was Wagon.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and he actually pitched fantastic. He went 4 innings and he was phenomenal. The 1 run he gave up really wasn't even on him. It was more towards it actually wasn't even an earned run. Our catcher had 2 errors in the game. I don't know if I've ever seen a catcher have 2 errors in a baseball game before, but not going to harp on it. We won. It was essentially a bullpen day, which everyone's been shitting on the bullpen. They went 9 innings. They got 0 earned runs, and we got the win.
Yeah, you were very happy about that. Rortvedt was the catcher that game. Is that the guy we got? I think somebody told me we got him from the Yankees.
Yes, we traded a tuna sandwich for the Yankees, and he's actually been good. I mean, he's been getting more playing time than Pinto, so it was nice to see Pinto step up and deliver today.
Yeah, he is 26 years old.
He has enormous biceps. If you can, please Google image his name and biceps, and you should see a crazy image of it.
Well, it's really hard to spell his last name, Ben Rort. If you type in Ben, by the way, the first Ben that comes up is Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Rortvedt. Oh wow, he looks like Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman.
Him and Yandy, they should have a bicep off.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I wish I could pull that up. I don't know.
It's not safe for work. Don't show it.
So he's batting .333 right now. This guy we got for a tuna sandwich from the Yankees. In that game, we only had 3 guys get hits, and Harold Ramirez was 3 for 4, scored 2 runs, and your boy Rosario came through 2 for 4. And Caballero was the only other guy with a hit that game.
You got to love Harold Ramirez. I mean, all these hits he's been getting recently too have mainly all just been out of hustle. It's just been like little dinks he gets in the outfield, in the infield, and he's kind of a chunky guy. So I don't know if infielders just feel, I'm just going to take my time. He busts his ass down the line. He's been beating out throw after throw. So kudos to him.
Harold Ramirez is 5'10", 232 pounds. He's my kind of guy. I'm not quite 5'10".
And that's with losing weight. He lost weight coming into the season, so he was probably like 15 pounds more going. So yeah, he's 5'10", 245. That's a big man.
He used to have when I was younger, I had a fat Cocker Spaniel named Sammy, and Sammy had a bunch of necks. And when we could tell Sammy was losing weight, we could see like it was like one or two less neck rolls. Harold kind of has like a chunky neck, you know, and I think he's down to like 1.5 necks. So that's pretty good. But I will say for being 5'10", 232 pounds, I mean, I'm overweight at 5'9" and 190 pounds. So that's a big guy.
And you're not a professional athlete.
And I'm not a professional athlete, right?
You're 190. That's good weight for you.
No. I'm like 198.
Okay, well, yeah, a few days of dieting and get that down to 194 in no time.
Yeah, 2 pimento cheese sandwiches probably not going to do the trick. But that was a good win because here's the thing.
It was a good win because they did not play well. I mean, the bullpen was fantastic, but nothing else played well.
And you got to win games that you don't play well in. But most importantly, my biggest thing is I still feel like your expectations don't really correlate with you saying go 16-14 in April, but I'm not going to harp on that. Just win the series. Keep winning series, right?
Well, it's 3 in a row. It's 3 in a row.
That's what I'm saying. I love to just win a fucking series. So that was an ugly, scrappy win. Then with no-name pitchers, Keaton win or whatever, Keaton win, whatever the fuck.
And if you remember last stream, I said take the under Friday night.
Well, that was the contrarian play because it was no-name pitchers. Correct. So we did say that. And then I don't know if we said take the over with Snell, but regardless, the next 2 games soared. Right. But I don't really understand what happened Friday. Not that I give a fuck anymore because we won the series.
Friday or Saturday?
I'm sorry, Saturday. Game 2. Game 2, we get our ass kicked 11-2.
Yeah, which I mean, you know, in retrospect, who cares? But the game just kind of got out of hand. Pepiot, I love watching the guy pitch. I am a little biased. I'm a Pepiot fan. I think Pepiot Masterclass season is loading. His stuff looks fantastic. I mean, his stuff looks so good. And when he does end up giving home runs up, it's just like he just misplaces a pitch by a smidgen. I did have Pepiot plus 140 over 6.5 Ks Saturday, and unfortunately only got to 6. So that was a real kick in the nuts. But yeah, he gave up a 2-run bomb, which kind of, I wouldn't say broke the game open because they were only down, I think, 4-1. But Webb was pitching a gem. And I think Cash made the right move after giving up that 2-run home run. He didn't go to the A bullpen. He went to Davinsky, which immediately shit the bed. And then the game got out of hand, and Rourkman actually ended up pitching, I think, the last 2 innings. So that was great that we were able to save the bullpen. So in my opinion, the Rays I already looked up tomorrow's line against the Angels. They're minus 160. I like that a lot just because. Yeah. Okay.
Let's segue into that after we talk about game 3. But basically what I wanted to get at is when this game was going down, you weren't shitting your pants at us getting beaten up pretty badly. Hold on. By the Giants leading into game 3 of the series with Snell coming on the mound. Were you a little nervous that we were going to?
Well, if you remember, I texted you this early this morning, the line. And once I saw the line, I actually took the Rays today because I was like, why is Blake Snell? Yeah. Well, actually, not trying to humble brag here, but I'm trying to go 4-0 today because I took Mets, Guardians, and Rays, all home dogs. I took all of them today.
Look at you. The Guardians, were they playing the Yankees?
Yes. They won late and the Mets won late. So I got lucky with both those. I'm not bragging about those wins. They're both very lucky wins. They could have easily went the other way. But I just saw all 3 of them as home dogs. I said, this should be able to go hopefully at least 1-2 today, but actually went 3-0.
Okay. Real quick, I didn't say hi to everybody that's in here. What's up, Nutbuster? Are you your biggest fan? I don't know. Maybe you're up there. What's up, Twizzy? Bet your ass, Mikey Will. Not familiar with that name, but what's up? Kevin, what's good? Squad pods are fixing to be so sharp this week. Yep, can't wait. What's up? My name is Jeffrey. Colby, what's good? How are you? Watching from Twitter. And JP Del Frio. Hope you enjoyed Masters Weekend. I had a nice time. Didn't win many bets. Sep Saraka came through for me. Okay, so Sunday, a couple of resubs too. Sports Hub sub bank 15 months. Snidesy with a sub bank 17 months. When does the Deflate season start? Not yet. Brock D with the sub bank. Appreciate it. We got a hype train on a fucking 8:52 on a Sunday night. You love to see that. It's got to be Drew.
It's because of Pinto being sending 2 home runs. People they wanted to tune in and learn about it.
Pinto got Tampa going ape shit today, but hold on. Let's talk about, so we're 1-1. We get our ass kicked to the Giants. Good move by Cash, saving the pen. Rortvit, however you pronounce his name, pitching. Then we go in, what do they call this? The grudge match, right? When it's 1-1 and you try to take the lead in the series. So you took the Rays because you like the line. Look at you, you line reader. You really come full circle. But I'm looking at the box score here,
And it wasn't a great start, by the way. So the game started with we had Sean Armstrong as the opener today, and he immediately gave up a run. So we were down 1-0 immediately.
Looking at it right now, Lamont Wade Jr., who I like that guy. How's he doing this year, by the way? Wade Jr. is batting 375. He was one.
It's the rubber match, not the grudge match. Who pointed that out.
I don't know where I got grudge match from. Yo, it's Perez. I'm going to change my name. All right, got you. Okay, so it didn't start so well. So we get Giants get a run in the top of the first, but then the Rays answer with 3.
Yeah, but with the 2 guys that we have been desperately needing to see something out of in the bottom of the first to pick us up. So we get down 1-0 against Blake Snell. Like, not looking good here. Yandy immediately gets a double. And then Randy, I believe, drove him home next with another hit. So the 2 guys who have been, I don't know what's happened to them. Yandy's average was below 200 coming into today, I believe. And Randy was barely above 200. Yeah. Those were their only hits of the day, by the way. But still, it set the tone. And then Rosie finished it off with a nice 2-earned bomb to give some space. And Snell, you could tell, because he didn't have a spring training, really. Keep in mind, the Giants signed him late. You could tell that his stuff, like he was throwing the ball extremely hard, but he was just off a little bit. So maybe that's the reason behind the line not being so supportive towards him. I think it was only plus 125 today. I'm sorry, minus 125 for Snell today, which going into bullpen day looks kind of sideways, but in retrospect, it makes sense. So I think another 2 starts or so, he's going to be fine.
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Also, if I remember correctly, Snell does not typically start the year that well.
He didn't start the year well last year.
Yeah, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I think he was 0-5 to start the year, win wise. I know that doesn't have to do with everything on the pitcher performance, but then he was 5-5, just like that. So that's something to keep an eye on with Snell, especially like you said, he didn't have a spring training. He went, let's see, what were his official stats? He went 4 innings.
4 innings and a bunch of runs.
6 hits, 7 earned, only 4 Ks.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Well, I mean, really what broke the game open was with 2 outs, Pinto hit a 3-earned home run. I mean, if that doesn't happen, I mean, who knows what happens in this game?
He does that in the 4th, and the Rays were up 4-1.
And I was watching live, and I was yelling at the TV. So we had 2 men on, 2 outs, and I believe it was a 3-1 count. And Snell was finding he was having trouble finding the zone. So I was literally screaming at the TV, "Pinto, do not swing," because I wanted to get Yandy up next. I was like, "Just don't swing, man," because if he didn't swing, he was good. I thought he was going to get an easy walk. Sure enough, I don't know what I'm talking about because actually Snell left one right over the middle, and he hit a fucking bomb. It was center field, and it bounced off like a wall back onto the field. So kudos to Pinto because he's had a really tough start to the season. I mean, he lost his job to the Yankees' 3rd-string catcher out of nowhere. The Rays
competition.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but in the offseason, if you read a bunch of stuff about like hardcore about the Rays, it was supposedly this is going to be Pinto's year. This is going to be the season where they're going to look to him to be their, catcher that plays 110, 115 games, and it hasn't been going well for him. His average was like 200, and he had his hit a single home run coming into today. So good for him getting off the snide and hopefully gets him going a bit because God knows.
27 years old, from Venezuela. I don't really know where he came from. Did he
came from the Rays? He's a lifelong, just developed through the Rays system.
Okay. So he was officially 2 for 4 today with 2 runs and 4 RBIs. Both hits were home runs, as we mentioned. The other 2 at-bats were strikeouts. We like to see that. The other thing that I want to bring up to you again, well, actually 2 things. You brought this up to me last week. You said Paredes has looked great at the plate. He was 2 for 4 today, 2 RBIs. That puts him up to 12 now on the season. I don't really know where that ranks, but that sounds like it's pretty fucking good, especially when you compare it to Arozarena, who has 5. So 12 RBIs for Paredes. You love to see that. And your boy Rosario, who you said
another bomb,
very unlucky. But not only that, he fucking was 3 for 4 today. With 2 RBIs.
But it makes sense. I mean, I'm telling you, when he wasn't getting hits before, he was hitting the ball as hard as you can. It was just going directly to fielders. And as long as you keep making hard contact, you're eventually going to have shit dropped. So he looks fantastic, looking like a great pickup. You got to love today's game, too, because I'm sure Cash went into today's game thinking, okay, I have the A bullpen behind me for when I need them. He didn't need them, so they got another day of rest. He didn't have to use Fairbanks, Adam, Clevenger, Matan. He didn't use any of the A bullpen guys. Look at the box score because it was
Look right now.
Tyler Alexander ended up pitching like 4 innings, maybe even 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tyler Alexander pitched 6 innings.
6 innings, fantastic, even better.
Holy shit! 6 hits, 4 Ks.
They pitched great. Yeah, save the bullpen. So we're going into tomorrow with a fresh bullpen. Cabby got the day off because then the other thing that made your head scratch a little bit is like Caballero's been like our best player, and he got the day off too. So, which I'm sure he needed a day off. I don't know if he's had a day off since the season started. So I like getting him off his feet. So going into tomorrow, you got the Rays minus 160 to start the series against the Angels. You got to like the way they're set up with Eflin going tomorrow, a rested bullpen. And being at home, the Angels are going to be flying in from a series in Boston.
Oh, okay, good note. So let's look at that. But the first thing, before we talk about the next series for the Rays, which it sounds to me like I like where we're set up. We'll talk about that line in a second. 2 guys that didn't do too much today. I want to ask you about Curtis Mead. What do you think of our boy Curtis? He's batting 235. He's 0 for 3 today, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Well, I'm starting to see some rumblings on Twitter saying that it's time to call out Caminero and send Mead to AAA.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you agree with that?
Well, I mean, I don't know who else we would send to AAA if it wasn't Mead, to be honest with you. Because it's not going to be Rosario.
No, it can't be Rosario.
So I don't know who else it would be. And then the thought process, too, when you have young players like Caminero and Curtis Mead, you want them to play as much as possible. Like if you're going to bring them up to the big leagues, you don't want them to just play like every 3rd or 4th day. That's going to stunt their development. So I don't think there's room for both Mead and Caminero to be on the roster right now because they both, whichever one is on the team, they need to consistently play. And then if Mead does, if Caminero takes a spot, then send him to AAA so he can get consistent at bats and keep playing every single day.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, this guy's 23 years old.
Well, Caminero's 20.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Caminero's not even 21 years old.
Said last time that's a good problem to have, but you definitely have to be patient with Mead. But I agree. If Caminero is not injured and he fucking is already hitting bombs when he comes back, let's get this guy up there.
Well, today's his first day back. You saw what I was. Yeah, it's his first day back.
Rays remind me of DJ under the pants department. Small, but they always find a way to get the job done. Thank you, ASM. I appreciate it.
That's all that matters. Size doesn't matter.
Hope you find that funny enough. It was funny enough. Yeah, I think that was funny enough. I love a good under the pants joke. Okay, last thing I wanted to ask you. Actually, you know what? I saw Siri went 0 for 4. I don't care. I'm not.
That's okay. Siri's playing every single day. We literally don't have another center fielder on the roster right now until Josh Lowe or somebody comes back. So whatever. Siri can have some 0 for 4 days. It's fine.
Who is Nick Goodrum?
So he's who they called up with Brandon Lau's injury. He's just a career journeyman type of guy, but he's not going to be on the roster long. He's just kind of a filling guy here and there. I read the reason why he started today, just random baseball shit. He was 2 for 5 in his career against Blake Snell.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't think he did much, but that's okay. I'm not going to get worried about it. So, good. This is what we need from the Rays. This is what we want from the Rays as of right now. Actually, I pulled up the schedule. So this week we've got 4 games at home against the Angels. Then they come up to New York. I forgot it was this coming weekend. We'll see if my wife wants to go. So they're in the Bronx this coming weekend. Hopefully it'll fucking stop raining so they can play some baseball. 4 games against the Angels, Drew. The first game, as you mentioned, Eflin against Sandoval, rested bullpen. Who do we give the day off to again? What hitter?
Cabby got the day off, yeah.
Awesome. What are you expecting from this series? 3-1 or better? Got to win the series again?
Yeah, I'm going to get greedy and say I'm expecting 3-1. I mean, if they went 2-1, I'm not going to cry about it. But we're set up really well. I mean, we have our A pitchers all set up for the series. So we're set up with the front of the rotation. So we got Eflin going Monday. We got Savali, who's been great on Tuesday. We got Wednesday. Littell has been fantastic. So, yeah, it would be anything less than a split would be extremely disappointing. And I want to get greedy and go 3 out of 4 because I was saying, hey, I don't see why we can't go 5-2 on this homestand. But if it ends up being 4-3, I mean, It's not terrible.
Are you at all worried? I'm looking right now. So I kind of hate this how we just played the.
It is. That's the thing, and all these pitchers just went against each other
That's what
too.
I'm
So
saying.
it's very difficult to. What are the chances of that? Two teams across the country playing each
Yeah.
other twice. It's strange scheduling
Weird scheduling. Also, if you're the Angels,
because they were just in Miami,
they were just on the East Coast.
in Miami, in Florida specifically. I mean,
Who made this fucking schedule? I mean, honestly, that kind of sucks for the Angels. So the Angels started 6 games on the East Coast, Baltimore and Miami. Then they go home for Boston and Tampa. Then they go back to fucking Boston and play Tampa. Then they got to go to Cincinnati after this. I mean, that's
all that travel.
That's brutal. That's
you
a lot of
got to favor the Rays in this series just because of that.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, dude. Also, then I'm not trying to be too sympathetic here for the Angels. Then they go back home actually that's for 9 games they're home. Then they go to Cleveland and Pittsburgh. So I mean, they're flying all over the country to start the year. That's kind of weird that they wouldn't, play some West Coast.
We'll have to bring Greg on so we could do the maps.
So here's my question for you. Given that they just saw these pitchers, also Fairbanks got 2 saves out of 3 games in the series when they played in LA. Are you at all worried that there's some pitcher familiarity?
I mean, I think it cancels itself out because it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily see one advantage to another because you could say the same thing about the Rays going against Angels pitchers, can't you?
Yeah, I guess you could. Well, would you lean towards overs in this series?
It's not extremely high tomorrow, is it? It's 8.5.
Only 1 game out of the first 3 they played went over. The first game was 7-1. I had the over in that game. I think it was 8.5 or 9. And then the second game I went back to it. It was 8.5 and it was 6-4 Rays win. And then the last game of the series, it was a low scoring game 4-2. But Eflin got beat up in the first go around. 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 earned, but he did get 5 Ks. Would you attack anything particularly in this game, in game 1 of the series, after just seeing them?
Maybe
Runs,
some
batters, pitchers.
Maybe some Eflin revenge.
That's what I'm getting at.
Eflin revenge. But just please do not throw meatballs over the middle to Mike Trout. That was one thing the Rays kept doing in that series. They kept throwing pitches right over the middle of the plate to Mike Trout. Like, can we just pitch around to Mike Trout? If he gets a walk, who cares?
Wow, he had a triple and a home run. His first 2 at bats last time he played the Rays.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get a cycle.
Yeah. No kidding. All right, Rays are minus. As you mentioned, I'm seeing 155 on DraftKings. The over is 8 and it's juiced minus 115. But that could be because Eflin just got beat up. I don't know that I'm going to go the game over here. I
looked at the box score for the Angels. Looks like they used a lot of bullpen today. Their starter only went 4 innings, and it looked like they used a lot of bullpen. So I don't know what type of shape their bullpen is going to be coming into the series.
So the Angels won their first game in Boston 7-0. Detmers pitched. Detmers has been phenomenal for them. Shout out to Jake Hazen, by the way. He's a follower of ours and Angels fan. He called Detmers pitching really well. Then they got their ass kicked 7-2, and then it looks like they just lost tonight 5-4. The Angels are 7-8 on the year. That's not too shabby. So I'm not sleeping on them, and I don't think the Rays are.
I love Ron Washington. Are you serious? How could you not love Ron Washington?
I don't know. I don't not like him. I just didn't know you loved Ron Washington.
He's just an old school type of manager. There was one of his, I don't remember the name of the player, but in the Rays series actually it was 4-2, and the guy he stole a base and he ran past the base somehow, and he got called out because the Rays guy tagged him. And what I loved was Ron Washington called his ass out after the game at the press conference. He said, "That's just flat out embarrassing." He said, "That can't happen." I mean, you never see that in today's professional sports because pro athletes are such babies. But he's an old school guy. He's over 70 years old. He doesn't give a fuck. So he just called him out and just said, "That's embarrassing. That will never happen again, ever again." So, he's bringing. I'm expecting the Angels to be a little feisty this year with him leading the way.
Okay, I like that. All right, so let's see. The Rays right now are 3rd in the division. The Yankees are 12-4. Baltimore's 9-6. The Rays are 9-6. Boston's 9-7. Toronto 8.
Rays are 9-7.
Oh, I'm sorry, 9-7. So they're, I guess, exactly where you want to be. The Yankees still look pretty fucking good, but the Brewers did the Lord's work. I mean, we have to thank the Brewers for going into Baltimore and winning 2 out of 3.
I really don't like the Orioles. I know like everyone's just like, hate the Yankees. Yeah, don't get wrong. I don't like the Yankees, but I think I hate Baltimore more.
What do you hate about them?
Well, all their prospects just look like such douchebags. They all look like I hate their manager. What is his name? just Google Orioles
I'm gonna
manager.
Google it right now. Baltimore.
He always looks like he just sniffed a fart.
I
just don't like his face.
Brandon Hyde. Oh
Brandon
my
Hyde.
God. This is a fart sniffer.
Yeah. Like anytime they show him in the dugout, he looks like he just inhaled a fart. I just don't like his face. I don't like what they did to Willie Adams. I mean, that's
Adames?
Yeah. You see what they did?
Calling Willie Adames.
Okay.
Willie Adams.
Sorry, my bad.
Christ.
But did you see what happened to him over the weekend?
No, I saw Willie Adames hit a fucking 3-run home run, and I missed Willie Adames at the time. But no, what did they do to him?
Both dugouts came out. The catcher was talking shit to him.
Really?
Yeah, out of all the guys, he's like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, that's interesting. Good. Down with the fucking Rays. Down with the Orioles. I'm going to actually post a tweet after we're done, and I'm going to post a screenshot and say the Brewers were doing the Lord's work. So I wasn't really a huge Brewers guy, but they're going to with the way Adames is playing, and if they're going to beat up the Orioles, then I'll probably have to root for them for the sideline. Do you, last question, do you think that hold on one second. I wanted to pull up the 4-game series here. Okay. So I wanted to just run through the pitchers.
Which Cash looks like a genius, by the way, which I was questioning before, because Eflin was actually due to start today. It was Eflin's day to start. He gave him an extra day of rest, and it all worked out.
Oh, here we go. So what we did with the Giants here, we kind of ran through and predicted in terms of the matchups, like what we like. So Eflin and Sandoval, last time Sandoval pitched, we did win that game against the Angels. We won it 6-4. Although I don't necessarily think we scored a ton off Sandoval. Let me pull that up. Well, no, we scored. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned. I mean, it's not terrible. He had 6 Ks. So yeah, that's average. But we go Soriano. I don't know. We do play Detmers, who's been on fucking fire, and then Canning. So you know what's interesting? We have not seen Canning, and we have not seen Detmers. We did see Soriano. Didn't score a ton of runs off of him. So the last 2 games in the series, we got Littell going on Wednesday night, and then Thursday looks like a day game with Pepiot. So what are your predictions here? I know you said you want 3-1. What do you think the game is we drop? Eflin, Savale, Littell, Pepiot is the order.
Man.
Maybe Littell against Detmers. Is that just the chalky, he's 3-0. He's been their ace right now. And Littell isn't.
Littell's pitched great though.
I'm not saying Littell isn't bad, but you'd probably still put Eflin, Savale, and Pepiot ahead of him in confidence, right? So is that the game you would give the Angels? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. Gun to my head, that's the one. Definitely not tomorrow. I mean, definitely not tomorrow.
You're not concerned at all. You look like a confident Rays fan. A low-key confident Rays.
Well, you got to be confident because the team's 9-7, and nobody's really playing that great. I mean, Yandy Diaz is not playing well. Randy Arozarena is not playing well. I mean, we don't have Josh Lowe. We don't have any depth in the outfield with all the injuries we're having. We're missing Taj Bradley. So yeah, you got to feel pretty good that, if just some of these guys come back healthy and just some of these guys just start playing okay, you got to like where this team's going to be at.
Yep. I'm with you. All right. Well,
the only thing that I'm waiting for this week more so than anything is I'm waiting for the Mark Tompkin tweet to say Josh Lowe is going on a rehab assignment. Aron is going on a rehab assignment. Taj Bradley's, you know what I mean? Like we still haven't got any of that news because, when any of these guys are healthy, they're going to have to go to AAA for probably at least a week and a half before they come back. At least.
What happened to Aranda again?
It was like right before the season started, he was playing catch and broke his finger.
That's right. Okay.
He will probably have the shortest rehab assignment because he went through an entire spring training. It was like literally 2 days before the season started. So, but Josh Lowe basically had no spring training. So I read that they're going to want him to get at minimum 30 at bats before he comes to the Rays. So to get 30 at bats, so you get 4 at bats a game. I mean, he's going to be in AAA for 2 weeks.
Man, well, that fucking sucks. But.
And, the Rays are going to be extremely conservative with Taj Bradley, with being a young prospect and coming back from injury. So, he's going to be in AAA for, I don't know, probably longer than 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks.
Yep. Okay, so as of right now, we like where we're at.
And just so people know who are watching this who aren't super familiar with the Rays, get excited about Junior Caminero. He's like our top prospect. He's 20 years old. He lit up AA last year. The Rays called him up for the playoffs last season, which obviously didn't last very long. But he had a minor injury to start the year, and today was his first game back. And his first game back at AAA, he had 5 RBIs. So I would anticipate this guy to be on the Rays by May. I really would be very disappointed if he's not on the roster by May. I mean, think about if you get him and Josh Lowe back in the everyday lineup come May. That's going to be a big shot in the arm.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be a shot in the arm. I love it. Well, as of right now, as a Rays fan, I think the happiest that I am for the most part, is being over 500. But most importantly, I like where the division's at. I am okay with.
The Red Sox are going to pull back. I haven't been overly impressed with the Blue Jays so far.
Yep, exactly.
Orioles, they're kind of going through it right now, playing average ball, and the Yankees, they had a nice start, but we'll see.
Well, you got to keep in mind too, if you look at the Orioles schedule, I mean, they started really weak. Angels, Royals, Pirates, Red Sox, Brewers. So the fact that I'm looking at it right now, they lost the series against the Pirates and the series against the Brewers to stay 9-6. I'm just happy that they're right there. You know what I mean? I know it's early, it's 15 games, but all this shit is going to come back to bite us in the ass at the end of the day. So we won a game we probably shouldn't, where we didn't play well in game 1 against the Giants, as you mentioned. Very happy about that. So now let's see. They play the Twins, the Orioles. I'm really going to be focused on the Orioles. I'm glad to hear that you don't like them, because for some reason people are like, why don't you like the Orioles?
I don't like them. They're very petty. I just don't like them.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. I actually don't mind them so much. It's more so that they're just in the AL East, and the AL East is already competitive enough. Like, I don't want some other annoying young up and coming team that's going to be good for a long time.
Exactly. They're trying to steal everything that we are.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Well said. That's why I can't stand them. All right. So I'll look forward to hearing your Rays report tomorrow and what you like. Again, Rosario's hitting the ball well. Paredes is hitting the ball well.
Harold's been grinding, been doing great things at the plate, and hopefully we can just I'm not saying getting them back into the all-star form, but let's just get Yandy and Randy just playing average. Can we just get them playing average?
We got Caballero coming off of a day's rest, Jose Siri coming off of an 0-4 day, maybe a Rays team total over against Patrick Sandoval, or maybe just don't even overthink it. Rays run line, because that bullpen's going to be rested, and Eflin revenge. Maybe some Ks. Don't pitch meatballs to fucking Trout, walk him. Maybe Trout over walks. Who knows? Something like that. A couple of things to look forward to. All right, Drew. Any closing words? Yep. Go ahead.
Want to give a shout out to the Orlando Magic for making the playoffs for the first time in forever. I don't really count the COVID season. I know that they made it during that. That doesn't really count. So first time really making the playoffs, it feels like in 10 years.
Yeah, but just be careful with the COVID thing, because the Rays went to the World Series during COVID, and Greg always says that.
Well, they went to the World Series, though. The Magic, they made the playoffs and they didn't do anything, did they?
Okay. No, they didn't do anything.
Yes. It's different if you win series.
Yes.
But yeah. I mean, I don't really count it if you immediately get eliminated in the playoffs during a COVID season.
I understand, but maybe it's just better to just not even say that, because if Greg catches wind of that, he's really going to lean into it. So as far as we're concerned, Drew, everything during COVID counted in the sports world, all right? Mainly for
correct. But regardless, congratulations to the Orlando Magic. Hopefully they can win a series against the Cavs coming up.
That'd be awesome. Yep. All right, W Magic. Let's stay grinding.
One quick thing I want to say is I did punch in Lightning 11-1 to win the East a few weeks back, so I'm hoping that's what I'm going to be looking for, the NHL playoffs coming up. I'm a Panthers fan, but if the Panthers don't get through, I got an 11-1 Lightning ticket to win the East. Yeah,
Vasilevsky in the playoffs is a different fucking animal.
How about those Isles? Made the playoffs.
Yeah, they're pesky. We're going to talk. Actually, I'm gonna chat with you a little bit more this week as the NHL futures playoff picture gets finalized, because we got to finalize some futures. So
we'll plan to get together again Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, maybe looks like it's a 4-game series, so I don't know if you can do.
What time is the Thursday game?
Actually, I'm glad you asked. It's a day game. So if you want,
perfect. So let's do Thursday night, so that way we can talk about the whole series. The series will be completed and going into the Bronx. So we'll plan for Thursday night.
Love it. All right, man. Drew, thank you. Have a nice night. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We will do these more often throughout the season. If you like hearing about the Rays, great. If you don't, that's also fine. Thanks for the support. Appreciate the sub banks. Have a great night. I'll see you on the board review tomorrow. Drew, I'll check you later, man. Go Rays.